So, yesterday evening I got a phone call, and there was a question involved. I immediately said yes, of course. But you know these yes, of course moments where you hang up the phone and then, wait. I had been asked, Mr. Glattard, would you be inclined to step in at a TEDx meeting tomorrow? And please give us an impromptu speech, an unprepared speech. Now, spontaneously and impromptu, I said yes, of course, but I didn't count on you guys. Who of you is scared of public speaking? Who of you would like to come up on stage right now and give an impromptu speech? Fair enough, so a couple of you may not be totally comfortable with this limelight. And there we already have the first combination between business and transformation and public speaking. It is scary. It is a step into the unknown. It is vulnerability. And all of that, all of these connections, I'd like to talk about tonight. First off, impromptu speech. It is not just an impromptu speech because I was made aware of the speech yesterday evening, but it is also an impromptu speech because right now I have no idea what I will be talking about in a few minutes. It's not that I'm unprepared, but it's impromptu, so I cannot know what the speech will be all about. You will have to give me the topics. You will have to give me the basis of innovation, of transformation tonight. And therefore, I have put some sheets of paper in the first row. The people in the first row, may I invite you to write down a topic for me on which I can later have my impromptu speech, as I was asked to do. Find a word. It can be amazing, great, shark, girl, whatever you like, teddy bear if you'd like, and afterwards I will have to talk about this topic. Please write it down now and then hand it to this side of the stage. They told me that today is all about living transformation. And in my work as a public speaker, doing competitions and so forth, I have realized that rhetoric in itself is basically nothing else but living transformation. Seeing how that is the truth in my eyes, I thought, why not apply rhetorical means and solutions, ways to give a great speech transformed, or rather put into action for businesses. How do we do that in public speaking? At the beginning of every speech, there is always an idea, a thought, a word. And from this, we have to create a speech. We have to transform these words, ideas, thoughts, into a speech. If they remain simply thoughts, ideas, or words, they will not connect with anybody. We need to find this transformation of ideas into actionable things, into actionable projects, talking for business. So how do we do that? How do we create a speech from all of that? There are basically only 3 questions that need to be answered. You may have heard of them already, but it's always good to be reminded. The first one is, what are you talking about? Of course, we all know that, right? We go on stage, we should know what we are talking about. But how many speeches have you seen where you did have to think, what is he talking about? This is the basis of any good speech, knowing what you talk about. If the speaker doesn't know what he's talking about, why should the audience? We have heard many great ideas, digitalization, markets, innovation, and so forth, simplicity. But where do we apply these? What do we actually want to transform? It has to be this, the first question that we ask ourselves in public speaking, as well as in your businesses. It is quickly followed by the second question, and the second question is how? With the third question, but the second question is why? Why would we transform something? We have heard it's the age for transformation. We do digitalize, we innovate, we do so many things. But why exactly do we do that? There are so many opportunities to innovate, to do stuff, to change things. But why exactly? There is nearly too much for us to do, isn't there? So we have to focalize our efforts. We have to know exactly what we want to innovate and why. It's the same with public speaking. If I don't know why I'm speaking to you, well, I better shut up. If a speech doesn't have a purpose, silence is always better. It's not that my speech doesn't have a purpose, but silence is effective, isn't it? So this is the second rule. It has to have a purpose. Why does it need a purpose? So we can, third, know how we speak. How do we speak? How do we use the vast amount of rhetorical means developed since the ancient times and put it efficiently to use? How can we transform the perception of an audience? How can we influence people with our rhetorical skills? Only if we know what we want to achieve, what we want to change, and why we want to do that. Else there is no direction for all the rhetorical efforts that you do. It's the same in businesses. But you know that better than I do. You need to know what you want to transform. You need to know why you want to transform it. And only then can you come up with efficient plans on how to do that. Of course, you are all aware of that. But we are living in a cramped time with so many things influencing us. It is hard to keep the bigger picture. In public speaking, everyone always goes for, oh yes, I want to use a metaphor. That's the point of the speech, a metaphor. But it will not be efficient. Same for, I want to digitalize my company. You need to know what you want to digitalize, why you want to digitalize it, in order to know how to do so. What, why, and how. The three questions that lead to effective innovation, transformation, and effective speeches. They will also be the basis of the table topics, the impromptu speech that you will be listening to in but a few seconds. But I cannot promise you that it will be a great speech. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what I will be talking about. I can promise you that, and again, there is the parallel to transformation. Transformation is insecure. We do have to take a leap of faith. We have to walk in a certain direction without exactly knowing whether it's going to work out or not. Transformation is change. Change is inherently insecure. But we do have to transform. We do have to innovate. Why so? Time moves on. If we simply stand still, we are effectively not standing still, but taking a step back. And that cannot be. So I invite all of you, ask yourselves the three questions. Do innovate, take the leap of faith into the unknown, and profit from all there is to gain. And when you have checked all the three questions, well then, cross your fingers and hope for the best, as I am, waiting for the topics that you have chosen for me. I hope nobody is willing to torture me tonight, so this is very technical, intangible assets. I don't know who of you, but we'll have a word later on. When we are born, we are given many opportunities. We are given abilities. Some of us prefer to speak. Some of us are great in writing down economical phrases. We all have our share of different assets. Some of them are very most tangible. If you are great at sports, everyone can see that. Everyone can truly follow your progress. Some of them are intangible. Intellect, it is more subtle. The ability to sing, the ability to be charming. All of these are intangible assets we are all born with. And just as intangible assets are very important, I am sure, in economy, They are incredibly valuable and incredibly important in our daily lives. We will only be successful if we use all the different assets that are given to us from birth. Success is bred by using all the assets we have available. Success will be bred upon these assets, whether they are tangible or intangible. Now, talking about human beings, we have to truly profit from all the possibilities we are born with. Only then will we truly reach the height of our potential. It is as it is in economy. With human beings, to lead a successful, fulfilled, and beautiful life, we need to use all our assets, be they tangible or intangible. Thank you for this. Whoever. You have just seen, I did not know what intangible assets are. From a word, I transformed this word into a speech. I transformed this word, which was unknown to me, into a message. I transformed it into something that you could all relate to, even though I didn't describe the exact term of it. I did that in but a few seconds, and you saw it on my face. Shock, realization, and then, okay, got to deal with that. In but a few seconds, I could come up with intangible assets being human assets we are all born with. Now imagine if I had had 2 hours to prepare. 5 hours, or since last night. Imagine the incredible potential residing in a simple word. Imagine the incredible potential residing in every idea, every thought we have in our economy. Now imagine you could transform them. You could transform them into project. Truly push transformation. It will be absolutely worth it. It will be more than worth it. Any risk that you take will be rewarded tenfold, in my opinion. As it is with public speaking, take the leap of faith. Trust in the abilities of your companies, in the abilities of the market, in the abilities of transformation. But always keep in mind, never lose the big picture. Never forget to ask what, why, and how. Yesterday, I received a phone call. I was asked to give an impromptu speech here tonight in front of all of you, and I'm still not sure whether that was a great idea. It doesn't really matter whether I'm happy about accepting it or not. Well, generally, I'm simply glad that I did. Thank you.